Hey, it's Brian with BG Model Workshop, also known as Bri to some of our friends out there. But we're doing the final on our big rig group build hosted by Mr. Thomas Soltis of Soltis Classic Car and Truck Modeling and Mr. Ferret Jeff, whose last name is still unpronounceable to members of this household. Hey guys, thanks again for hosting this wonderful group build. It's always fun for us to do this type of thing. It's definitely an envelope pusher when it comes to the comfort zone, which I think was a Kenny Loggins song. I can't quite remember. But yeah, we did the AMT Freightliner. This is the extended cab dual drive, blah, 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 blah. But it was a lot of fun. I say that with all seriousness. Yeah, there was a lot of problems. Yeah, there's a lot of guys out there that are building this kit that are having the exact same issues and stuff. But because of the results that we have here and the fact that we just took our time, did a lot of dry fitting, maybe had to take a step back once in a while, but there was definitely times when I had to get up and walk away from the bench. And there was actually one time when we took an entire week vacation and went to a different state. That helped out a lot too. So I think the next time we do a group build for the big rig deal, we're going to schedule a vacation right in the middle of all that because I'll probably need that like I did this time. So we know a lot about these AMT kits. We've all had the same complaints and the same concerns and stuff. So listing all of that stuff is going to be a waste of your time. But I will say that one of the things that caught us off guard that we were not expecting until we started doing final assembly was the front axle. Oh, the front axle. Now, you may notice that we actually have our front wheels in line with the cab sides, and that took a lot of work on our part. We had everything cemented together, painted. The entire chassis was a roller. Then we went and put the cab on there and we discovered that the wheels were sticking out too far. And at that particular point in the game, I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll just leave it, live with it. If I ever do another one of these kits again, I'll keep an eye out for that type of thing. But I also had the counter thought that no, I am a model builder of a particular skill level now, and I can fix this. I know how to fix this. I can figure out a way to fix this, and I did. I talked to my good friend Dan, and he said that is an actual issue with these kits having the front axle too wide. We took a couple of measurements and found out that the driver's side tire was sticking out about 3 millimeters wider than the cab side was, and on the passenger side that was about 2 millimeters wider. So what I decided to do was originally was to pop the axle off and then cut that down, glue it back together again, stick it back on. But apparently I had welded that bugger on there so good that it was not coming off. So the contingency plan was to just pop the wheels and tires off. And then what we did was we got out the Dremel and a couple of small grinding stones and cut down the insides of the backside of the hub by a lot. And then went to the actual face surface of the drum brake that's inside there and ground that down as much as we dared. And then we kept doing a lot of fitting back and forth. And then we made sure all of our mounting surfaces were kind of square because we didn't want to have them a little elliptical shaped or anything like that. So we got it all put back together again. I put it on actually this piece of metal that we're sitting on right now and jigged everything up and super glued the hell out of it. And I think we're doing good. I cannot complain with the results. It was a makeshift alignment jig. I know that there's ways to do all that kind of stuff with measuring and little lines and all that kind of stuff. I think Gary G has a whole tutorial on how to do his, and he has a really sweet setup on his part. But I was running low on patience, and I decided to go ahead and use this piece of metal. It is actually supposed to be used for gluing up stuff, and it did help me keep everything fairly square. I do like the results. The only other really truly difficult thing to deal with are these bloody mirrors. I was actually trying to figure out a way to make my own out of possibly a piece of wire I could bend into shape. and then drill into the cab side and poke the wire and you know, have it mounted in that way, and all kinds of engineering aspects of trying to rethink the mirror. And I thought, you know, let's just glue them on there. They're going to break off, and if they do, they do. If I have to go back and refigure out how to do that stuff, fine, so be it. I'll live with it. Hell, if they make it through this video, I'll be happy. The only really frustrating part of the whole thing was the instructions were a little lackadaisical on actual instructions. I had to refer back to them many, many times. I've never had to refer back to instructions that much when building a kit, because mostly was the unfamiliarity of building a big rig kit, as well as the fact that apparently whoever wrote the instructions for this particular kit figured that you already know everything you need to know about big rigs, so you don't need to ask any questions. But the decal sheet was awesome. It has lots of different options, and I, of course, am using the Universal Construction because we're building all the vehicles for the Universal Construction sets that are available right now on the market. I have, I'm pretty sure I have all of them, yeah. And this guy is going to be towing a nice trailer for that particular livery, I guess is the best way to say it. We did find in the instructions, let's get a little closer here, that there's a little decal says Spike, and we decided to put that on the driver's door. Figured, okay, that's kind of fun. Driver's name is Spike, and then we have a little Hot Wheel decal that we stuck on the access door here. Figured that maybe Spike is a fan of Hot Wheels. And then I kind of thought, you know, maybe Spike is such a fan of Hot Wheels that he actually spends more of his free time at the local store trying to buy Hot Wheels and add to his collection than he is cleaning up his truck like he's supposed to. So we went over the entire frame and all the tires and stuff with some of our handy-dandy weathering powders from Tamiya. We got those just the other day, and I've been using the heck out of them. I love them. I love them. They're a lot of fun. We did change out the exhaust stacks because those were really crappy. We did aluminum tubing up there on the top, cut them at a nice little angle to give them kind of a racy look and everything. So that's where we're going with that. I did do bare metal foil on the fuel tank straps because it kind of reminds me of the stainless steel banding that we see on those. And I think one thing to watch out for on this dude is the fact that these axles in the back have some silly little lugs on them. I thought they're supposed to be alignment lugs. Turns out that they would actually shift them. The rear axle is shifted to the left, and the forward axle is shifted to the right. And if you put the wheels and tires on and everything together, all in one big sandwich stack, you end up with mismatched alignment on there. So I did, since there's just a big long metal axle going through there, I actually cut some shims and shimmed everything out a little bit so that the tires will still line up nicely, but the differentials are offset from each other, which I know is an actual necessity for the actual drive shaft to run properly. But yeah, that's a thing. So just a heads up there. I did add a little piece of tread plate up here in the back by the pogo stick because I figured maybe Spike got tired of falling through the frame in the early evening when the light's not so good. Got tired of falling through this frame, and I figured he probably only had to straddle that drive shaft just the one time before he came up with the idea of adding a piece of tread plate back there so he wouldn't fall through the frame anymore. I do plan to do some hoses and wires in the backside there. I need to get some more photo reference on that kind of stuff so I know what I'm doing so it doesn't look silly. And I do want to do a little bit more weathering and dirtying on that because it does look a little clean for what it's supposed to be. I figure this is the truck that brings in the equipment for the construction crews, and most of the time there's not going to be a road where this guy's going to be going. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Another funny detail about the decals is that all the license plates that are in there for the multitude of states that it offers are all tagged for 1970. And I'm like, some of us weren't even around in 1970. So if I want to do something, I'm going to probably do an upgrade on the decals and maybe have maybe see if I can find some aftermarket modern decals, maybe ones for Arizona as well, rather than Oregon and California. But I do think that Spike is a Giants baseball fan, so we gave him a license plate there. All right, guys and girls, that's what we got going on there. Up next is going to be some Charlie Mack appreciation build work going on, and then the next installment of the Universal Construction series. I hope you guys all tune in for that. Thanks for watching all the way to the end if you made it that far. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you again. Bye now.